And I think it was last week Norristown lost 3 fumbles, 2 of them on the handoffs. They've got a lot of work to do in that area because Melito is doing a good job of faking it, but a lot of times he's just not connecting. His timing is definitely off with both Denson and Bello in the backfield. Hand off to Denson right up the middle, and that time Bishop-Kenrick for one of the few times tonight with Jeff Etzel meeting Denson, stopping him for no gain.
Well, Wayne Denson just ran into yellow shirts that time. There were no Norristown blockers to be found. Wayne just ran right into 3 Kenrick Knights.
So it's going to be 3rd and 12. Denson lost a couple of yards that time. Bello and Denson, the 2 men in the I formation right behind Melito. He takes a snap, fakes to Denson, drops back to pass. Melito going right over the middle now. Pass is intended for number 83 for Norristown. Jerome Reinhardt, but it's way over his head. Incomplete for Norristown.
Melito had all kinds of time on that last play. Guess Jerome just couldn't catch up with that ball. Rich a little bit strong on that pass to the end zone. Norristown going for it all on 3rd down. Of a 4th down and 12, we'll see what Coach Grove wants to do in this situation. I think it's a little bit long for a field goal. They may just go for the 1st down, seeing as they're deep in Kenrick territory. Even if Kenrick gets the ball, they'll take over on the 20-yard line.
Melito's really put the ball up. We don't have the official stats or anything right at this moment, but he's put the ball up quite a bit tonight. Last week, he only attempted 5 passes, completing 2 of them. So Norristown is going for it, 4th and 12 here. Melito dropping back once again to pass. Friday breaking down, or now it's going to be, let's see, that time it was Rob Livingston, but the pass was a little too long that time. Livingston tried to make a dive and catch, but it was still past his outstretched hands. So Norristown's going to turn it over.
Fine effort that time by Rob Livingston. He really extended his body to the limit that time, trying to bring in that Melito pass. But as we say, it's Bishop-Kenrick's ball, and there's only 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the ball game. They're at their own 20-yard line. They've got 80 yards to go for a touchdown, and they need another touchdown. Well, no, they don't. They can get the 2-point conversion and kick a field goal. Although we don't see too many field goals in high school football, although we did see one by Mike Denzi earlier this evening.
And I'll tell you, with 5 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, I don't think there's much of a chance of that. Time running out on the Knights. So 1st down now. Vivian dropping back, getting some time, finally starts getting pressured by Reinhardt. He fumbles the ball, and let's see, it's going to be picked up by Norristown, number 77 for the Eagles. Mark Ramsey picks it up, and he goes, let's see, and it's going to be a 1st down, and of course Norristown taking control of the ball. That play was made possible by number 76, Damon Davenport, breaking through the line for Norristown, really pressuring Vivian, who had no chance. He went around. Davenport knocked the ball out of Vivian's hands, and then, of course, Norristown coming up with the ball.
Sure. Ball now for Norristown at about the half-yard line, although I'm not quite sure. I can't see exactly. Rich Melito will take the ball from center. Handoff inside, goes to Carmen Bello. Touchdown, Norristown.
Handoff that time to Bello, straight up the middle. Bulls his way for the yard or so that he needed for the touchdown. So Norristown now goes up 23-6 here. So that turnover by Bishop-Kenrick, a costly one. Vivian losing the ball, Norristown recovering it on the fumble. And they go in and take the score on the very next play.
Well, we're seeing a lot of turnover football here in the second half. Back and forth is the way things are going. Let's see if Mike Denzi can keep his perfect evening going here. Rich Melito be the holder. Denzi's up, looks good from here. And that's what the officials say. 24-6 Norristown. We have exactly 5 minutes left to go in the ball game. I'm quite impressed with Mike Denzi's performance tonight. I really wasn't sure who the kicker was going to be for Norristown. Denzi did some kicking last year. Kevin Kelly doing most of the kicking chores for Norristown. But Denzi's really come into his own here. He's listed, I think, at about 6 feet and 200 pounds. So he's got the weight behind it. I know they had used Jeff Reinhardt, I think, on the kickoffs last year to put the added weight behind the ball. But Mike Denzi gets some good loft on his kickoffs. Of course, the Norristown golf team was in action today in their first preliminary match. They had a scrimmage today. Although the Eagle golfers did lose, numbers 1 and 2 golfers Jimmy Sayer and Joe Jenkins won their individual matches at Center Square Golf Club against North Penn.
It just so happens you're a member of that golf team now under a new head coach this year.
That's right. Bill Werkheiser's taken over the Eagle Golfers. Of course, Mr. Werkheiser had some fine championship seasons with the Norristown basketball team. So we'll see if the Norristown golf team can live up to his winning status. I'm not so sure. Of course, in the new league with Pennsbury, Council Rock, the Shawnee Langhorne, etc., they have some extremely good teams in that division, as well as football, which we're watching right here. Of course, Norristown hockey, Norristown tennis, they're all looking for winning seasons this year.
I didn't hear you mention anything about how your individual performance was today, Jeff.
Well, Alan, seeing as I don't want to burden the listeners with that statistic, let's go down to the field and watch Mike Dempsey kick off to Bishop-Kenrick. Although I'd gladly take you on for 18 holes any day that you wanted to, Alan.
Well, you sure got out of that one pretty easily. Dempsey boots this one down, taken by, let's see, Kenrick at around the 20-yard line, breaking up the middle, and let's see, number 32, the main man on there on the tackle for Norristown.
Sort of looked like the Eagle players were playing the schoolyard game of Ruffy Up. They were all over that Kenrick pass kickoff returner. There were at least 5 of them that just piled right on top of him.
And that was number 1, Mo Cabot, 5'6", 150-pound defensive back, only a sophomore for Bishop-Kenrick, who ran that one back. They have a very young team, a lot of sophomores and juniors on this squad.
That's true, Alan. If they're going to have this town's going to have to mature this year. They know they can't turn their program around in 1 year. They're looking to the future with these players.
Vivian dropping back to pass, going over the middle. Pass intended that time for number 86, Dan Rizzo, but it was a little too far, leading him. Incomplete. Of course, for Kenrick last year, the varsity only won 1 game, but the encouraging signs were the JV squad broke even last year, and of course the sophomore squad went undefeated, and that's what the core of this, the nucleus of this team consists of, those JVs and of course the sophomores from last year, and that's what they're going to have to build on if they intend to have any success in the future.
Exactly. The Catholic League is so tough, perennially tough. Bishop-Kenrick really has to field a strong team to be anywhere near competition, and they've got the young players coming up to do it, I think.
So we've got 2nd and 10 now for Bishop-Kenrick. They're trailing 24-6, 4.5 minutes to go now in this ball game. Vivian handing off to Corporal Lease, but he only gains about 1.5 yards on the play before he's taken down by Norristown. And there on the stop for the Eagles, number 76, Damon Davenport.
Of course, we're talking about the Kenrick JV and sophomore teams. Norristown had an impressive JV squad last year, which is where most of these starting players that we see this year for Norristown have come from. Several years ago, all these players were performing for Eisenhower in 9th grade, and they racked up an undefeated season, I believe it was. Could have been 1 loss to one of the Plymouth teams, but these players have matured into great ball players, especially the Reinhardts, etc.
Okay, 3rd and 7 now for Kenrick. Vivian back, he's rolling out to the right side, looking for a receiver. Finally passes it up, and it's out of bounds. Norristown receiver defensive back came up with it, but he was out of bounds already. That was a play where there was no chance for completion. Melito should have just tucked it in and taken off up the sidelines.
I think you mean Vivian should have tucked it in and taken it up the sidelines, but I do agree with you. He should have just gone with that ball. It looked to me, he was just about past the line of scrimmage, so he unloaded that ball just in time. Of course, obviously out of bounds.
So it's going to be 4th and 7. Punting situation now for the Knights. John Cabot, number 10, back there for Bishop-Kenrick. And the deep man once again, as he has been all night, it's going to be Nate Booknight for the Eagles. Cabot gets off a good punt that time. Booknight takes it at the 35, going right up the middle. And finally, he's going to be stopped at around the 46-yard line. 16-yard return for Booknight that time. He was taken down by number 31, Joe Corpelise, along with number 11, Mike Migleris of the Knights. So 3.5 minutes to go now in the game.
It's in the ball game now for the Eagles. It's number 8, Joey Vereen, taking over the quarterback job from Rich Melito. Vereen coming in the ball game with 3:17 to go.
Vereen, a handoff straight up the middle to number 6, Carmine Bello. Carmine picks up about 4 yards on the carry.
We saw Joey Vereen for about 5 minutes in the Plymouth Whitemarsh game. We haven't seen him throw a pass yet. It's been a lot of the running game. Vereen's been coming in the ball game. Norristown having a lead, so there's no need for Joey to go to the air for any reason. Norristown just trying to eat up the clock, grind out those first downs. In camp this year, Melito and Vereen were very, very close in competition, according to Coach Grove. And it was really a toss-up decision as to who would start, but Rich Melito proved himself very proud last week, so he got the starting assignment again this week. Wayne Denson up the middle for about 1.5 yards, maybe 2.
Vereen going at about 5'8", 155 pounds, also a senior for Norristown, just like Melito. And it's going to be 3rd and 6 now. Just about 2 minutes left in this game. Norristown having it sewn up. 24-6 they're out in front right now. Vereen hands off to number 3, Rob Livingston, who came in from the flanker side. He only picked up about 1 yard on the play, so it's going to be Norristown's 4th down here.
As we wind under 2 minutes, the fans are starting to disperse here. I think it's a bit evident that Norristown is going to win this game 24-6 to continue their winning streak and their dominance over Bishop-Kenrick.
And of course, notice here, this Friday night coming up, Norristown going to be home once again here on Friday night, playing Souderton, a team that, well, I know they haven't faced them in the last 5 or 6 years. I don't know if they ever have. And of course, the following week, they're going to be taking on University City here at home on Saturday afternoon at 1:30. Nice high punt that time by Norristown. Takes an Eagles bounce and it goes all the way down to around the 15-yard line before it's down by Norristown.
Elster got a nice bounce that time. Ball finally down by number 25, Reggie Johnson. And we're going to see the second team defense in here for Norristown. We'll see if we can't get through. Well, we have a timeout here on the field. Timeout Norristown. Now while we have the timeout, let's see if we can't get some of these new players, get their names to you. Okay, we've got in there number 34, Roy Suber. Number 67, Jeff Denner. Number 89, who is Lewis Simpson. Number 67, we did that one. Number 73, Joe Trump. Number 6, Carmine Bello, who's going to come right back out of the ball game. Number 7, Ted Pasva. Number 8, Joey Vereen. Number 80, Brian Murphy. Number 57, Chris Augustine. Number 52, Paul Savage. And let's go down onto the field now. We have 1 minute and 6 seconds left. Vivian still at quarterback. Quick one over the middle. A little bit too much on that pass. Vivian really tried to rifle the ball in. Pass was intended for number 85, Bob Steck. We've got 54 seconds left in the ball game. 24-6 Norristown. There's the play from Vivian. He's going to go the same play. Popped up in the air. Joey Vereen goes for the interception. No, say the officials. Joey wanted that one, but we really couldn't tell from up here. Joey had his back to us, but the pass once again too hard over the middle by Steve Vivian.
I tell you, Kenrick loves that play. They've been running it all night long. That quick little pass right over the middle to one of the receivers who's cutting across. It's a great play if it works, because the receiver obviously breaks right through the heart of the opposing team's defense and can break open a big one there. But it takes a lot as far as timing and a lot of luck to get that one to be complete.
So, of course, with these incomplete passes, we have the stoppage of the clock Still 49 seconds to go, 24-6 Norristown. All ready to go again. I guess we'll see Bishop-Kenrick go to the air once more. Third down for them. There's Steve Vivian. He's going to roll to the left. There it is. Nice play that time. Dan Rizzo gets open on a nice move. Put a nice move on Jeff Denner for a first down for the Knights. Ball's going to be at about the 32-yard line. We have a timeout on the field. Well, this is a nice effort by Bishop-Kenrick to try and get some more points on the scoreboard. Yes, we do. Timeout, Bishop-Kenrick. So that last play ate up 9 seconds, 40 remaining. First and 10, Kenrick. Of course, the second team defense would like to do itself proud right here. They want to show Coach Grove what they're made of, maybe earn somebody a starting job. And the Knights are ready to go once more. We have 3 men on the right side now. 1 man in the backfield, probably remaining there to block for Steve Vivian. Yes, he does. Vivian going to roll out to the right, following his players, and the second team defense gets a sack. Number 57 in on that play for Norristown. That was Chris Augustine, as well as number 89, Lou Simpson. Another timeout on the field. We'll have a second down and long yardage, timeout Bishop-Kenrick. And we'll make it second down and 20. So with 25 seconds to go, we're going to go for the long ball, I suppose, with Bishop-Kenrick. Of course, we can't see any immaculate receptions like we saw in the Norristown Upper Merion Thanksgiving Day game several years ago. It won't do any good as Bishop-Kenrick is down by 18 points at the moment. Vivian with the long count takes the ball from center. Quick pass. All over him that time was number 67 for the Eagles, Jeff Denner. Breaks up the play. Pass intended that time for number 86, Dan Rizzo. So with third down and 20 for Bishop-Kenrick, we have 21 seconds remaining. Vivian drops back over the middle. That time Rizzo's open, good play. Joey Vereen trying to make the tackle. Vereen and number 34 for the Eagles. Roy Suber team up to make that tackle. Good gain that time though for Bishop-Kenrick. And we'll have another timeout with 9 seconds remaining on the clock. And I believe that is Bishop-Kenrick's last timeout. They have fourth down and 10 with 9 seconds. This very well could be the last play. We might get one more if Norristown gains possession. Bishop-Kenrick completes this pass. That'll probably be the ball game. Of course, this is the way the end of football games usually are, with the losing team trying to get back in the ball game, using up their timeouts, draws things out, but you want to give it every shot you have. Well, Bishop Kenrick must be ready. Their center's out of the huddle. So let's see what happens. Vivian drops back. Pressured by Norristown. Scrambles to the left. He's going to let one go. It's intended for number 86, Dan Rizzo. And there is 1 second left on the clock. Norristown will take possession. Incomplete. Nice last effort that time by Steve Vivian. Norristown defenders broke it up. So Norristown will put the ball in play. There'll be one snap, and that'll be it. 24-6 Norristown. So Joe Vereen will take one snap from center, and that'll be it. We would run down all those second string offensive players for you, but I don't think it'd be worth it with only 1 second left to go. I can't believe this. Timeout Norristown. I'm not quite sure why. Perhaps they had used up their 30-second time allotment and didn't want a penalty. I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get all their players into the ball game. Maybe they didn't have enough men on the field. That could be it.
Maybe they wanted to extend the game a couple more minutes.
Hey, we don't know. We're just up in the press box. In any event, Norristown will be going in several seconds. There's the Norristown band on your screen. Marching Eagles performing very well this year. They'll be having several cavalcades here at Roosevelt Field. And we're just about ready for Joey Vereen. Norristown offense sets up. And Joey Vereen takes one step, falls on the ball, and that's it. 24-6, Norristown victorious over the Knights of Bishop Kenrick. We'll be back in just a moment with a post-game wrap-up. Final score, 24-6 Norristown. The game was pretty good. I mean, Kenrick had their opportunities. They really had that one good sustained drive. But I think Norristown was just a bit too much for them talent-wise.
Well, you know, the 24-6 score doesn't indicate as well as Bishop Kenrick played tonight. I mean, except for a few costly turnovers, an interception, a fumble, when they had a couple good drives going, and of course one good drive was stalled in the third quarter because of a couple penalties. But they played a good game. They came out here, they fell behind quickly, 10-0 after one quarter, and yet they didn't lose their composure, as I said earlier, and that's so important when you have a young team. A lot of them, boy, 10-0, and that's it. The game's over with automatically. Kenrick showed, though, in that second quarter, they came back immediately. They got back on the ball game. Unfortunately, Norristown just took it all away from them, especially Tom Friday when they broke that long kickoff return, and that pretty much sealed the fate for the Knights tonight. The second half, they came out, they got the running game going a little bit, and they were a little more dominant. I think this was an extremely tough start for the Knights football program this year. Norristown, of course, opening their season against Plymouth Whitemarsh with a big victory. And the Knights are a young team, they're an experienced team, and I think they're going to win some ball games this year. I mean, they took one victory last year. I look for maybe 4 or 5 from Bishop Kenrick this year. Starting out with Norristown is really a test because the Eagles are strong this year, no doubt about it. Well, as we said, it's bad enough they have to play in the Catholic League Northern Division, one of the toughest divisions to play in. But then starting your season by playing crosstown rival Norristown, it's no piece of cake. Norristown tonight, I think if you look at their strong points, it's got to be the passing of Rich Melito. Last week against Plymouth Whitemarsh, he only put the ball 5 times, completing 2 of them. Tonight, he aired it out a lot more. Norristown opened up their offense. You know, the running attack we know is going to be good. Carmine Bello proved tonight that he certainly is a viable alternate, especially with Wayne Denson back there in the backfield. With Melito, I think the biggest thing they've got to work on offensively is getting those handoffs right, because we saw a lot of botched plays tonight where Melito just a little bit late, or else Denson and Bello were just a little bit too early as far as taking the handoffs from each other. And of course the play of Tom Friday, another outstanding game. 2 touchdowns last week, 1 tonight on that fabulous football, return play there. It's got to be the run back. It's got to be the most exciting play in football. That and the bomb. I mean, Tom Friday just had this crowd on its feet. And he has the guy has speed, which is incredible, especially after he gets the ball. I mean, he has good speed initially, that initial burst, but boy, he really has some good moves, and he has that speed cutting right down the middle after he holds on and takes those passes, or as we said, on that kickoff return.
I think you were saying earlier about getting their handoffs to run more smoothly. I think that's something that Coach Grove sort of expected this year. The offense is extremely inexperienced, even the offensive line. He's got some great talent, and Norristown's league schedule doesn't even start until their 5th game of the year. I mean, they've got a lot of teams to work on before they really have to get down to league competition. I think by that 5th game of the year, they should be in great shape.
And as we said, the majority of those games, the league games anyway, are at home, and what bigger advantage can you have than that? One other thing about Kenrick, though, I think you have to point out the passing of Steve Vivian tonight. Only a junior quarterback. This is his first varsity ball game, and yet he has shown a very strong arm, just like Rich Melito. Both quarterbacks played very well tonight, I should say. Neither one of them had any problems as far as throwing the ball over the middle. They weren't afraid of it, and they both handled the pass rush very well. Of course, Vivian had to even more so than Melito because of the strong rush that Norristown was putting on him all night long.
Well, we saw a good game tonight, a lot more comparable than last year's 33-0 rout by Norristown.
Kenrick has nothing at all to be embarrassed with, and as I said, the score is not indicative of how well they played tonight.
Exactly. Well, Norristown has some tough competition coming up this year, and of course Bishop Kenrick does too. But with 2 early wins, Norristown's off to a great start in its football program, and I'm sure Kenrick will be back later on this year. So for the Norristown Area School District, which has produced this show for you, I'm Jeff Brandon and Alan Raleigh. We'll see you at the next ball game, September 17th against Souderton.